In the near future, Marshall University will break ground right here on a brand new state-of-the-art facility which will house the Lewis College of Business and Brad D. Smith Schools of Business, all made possible by the very generous alumni and community supporters of Marshall University during Marshall Rises. What is Marshall Rises? I'm glad you asked. Let's check it out in this episode of Exploring Marshall. On this episode of Exploring Marshall, we will hear from several of the individuals responsible for leading Marshall University to a highly successful completion of its ambitious and first ever comprehensive campaign. We will gain some special perspective on the impact of this successful venture, as well as some invaluable behind-the-scenes accounts of how it all got started. To begin, we have to go back to 2016. Marshall University had a new president. Dr. Jerry Gilbert arrived on the scene with an enormous energy level and innovative ideas for our institution.
You know, when I first came to Marshall University, I saw that we had a lot of potential in a lot of different areas. And one of the things that I was thinking about was we could focus on fundraising and perhaps do a comprehensive campaign.
Marshall University had never before attempted a fundraising campaign of this magnitude, and there were some legitimate concerns.
And there was a little reluctance at first, thinking that maybe it was a bit of a reach for Marshall, but I convinced Ron that we could do it. So I went and talked with Ron Area, and he and I decided that maybe we could do this.
Working together, Dr. Gilbert and Dr. Area secured a campaign consultant in Panis, Lindsay and Partners, and a feasibility study was initiated. During this time, dozens of meetings were held with major donors and prominent alumni, as well as university administrators, faculty, and staff to gather input and determine the best path forward. Following a few months of intensive groundwork, a comprehensive campaign was born.
We took on Marshall Rises, set a goal of $150 million, and we have exceeded that goal. We've brought in lots of money for scholarships, new buildings, professorships, all sorts of things that are going to enhance Marshall University. And in the meantime, we've also increased our research funding.
It is important to note that over 1/3 of all the major gifts given toward Marshall Rises have come from first-time donors. This aggressive expansion of the donor base is momentum that Dr. Gilbert and Dr. Area and others at Marshall University hope to continue.
And the university has experienced a bit of a renaissance, I think, in terms of creating new excitement about Marshall University, what the university is, what it means. We now are a Research 2 university, the first time in its history. Lots of great opportunities, lots of great things are happening, and much of that is due to the support and the generosity of our alumni who have contributed to this campaign and exceeded our expectations. We completed this campaign in less time than we thought, and we're actually talking now about additional goals and raising the bar and going forward. So it's been a great campaign and a great effort on everyone's part. So Marshall Rises, with an emphasis on need-based scholarships, has had a tremendous impact on our students. It's provided new scholarship opportunities, many endowed scholarships, some one-time scholarships, but it's increased the opportunities for our students to get assistance in their education. It's also enhanced our laboratories, our teaching classrooms, and other items that are going to benefit all the students at Marshall. So Marshall Rises has had a very positive input or impact on the students at Marshall University.
Marshall University's Chief Academic Officer, Interim Provost, Dr. Avi Mukherjee, has been instrumental in supporting the success of Marshall Rises and is witnessing the early impact of the campaign's success on the student population.
So what students benefit from this Marshall Rise campaign is that they are we nudge them to go out of our comfort zone. We are really trying to challenge them to go out into the community and beyond. For example, national conferences, national meetings, student competitions, research projects. we are getting our students excited about these opportunities the way we have never been able to do before. And for that, we need resources, we need the connections, and we need the experiences. And that's exactly what this provides. So I think we can get real life experiences of the type that very few schools can really afford because of this campaign. I think it has really, challenged us to exceed our own expectations in every single way, and challenged us to be excellent in so many different dimensions. It is very special, and I think it does create that Marshall family that we always talk about, where we have our students interacting with our alumni and our community and our faculty and our staff, and really making it into a wholesome experience of learning and living in the community.
Dr. Mukherjee is the first to tell you that when students succeed, a university thrives.
Well, so the Marshall Rises campaign has been one of the most transformative things in the history of Marshall University. I feel that, when you look at our faculty, our students, and our staff, we are creating an environment right now where we are truly distinguishing ourselves from other business schools, other colleges in the university, and the university at large by truly creating an experiential learning opportunity for our students. I think we are different because we are embedded in the community. We create an opportunity for our students to interact with the community. We get them to go out and practice what they learn, which is really the mission of our university, I think. We are a community engaged university, and we really want to make sure that we are not just on campus and in the classroom, but we really go out and engage.
Let's visit with Joshua Dauber and hear his perspective on the value of scholarships.
So first of all, getting into college, when you sign up for classes and you look at that long expense list, it can be really intimidating. And you see all those expenses, those room and board things, if you're not a commuter student, all those things are gonna add up for you. And when you see scholarships, that feeling of relief that just comes over you is just very strong. It's undescribable. And you know that everything's gonna be okay, the stress kind of melts away, and there you go.
Joshua's scholarships have afforded him the opportunity to be more involved on campus and immersed in the student experience. With the stress and financial burdens out of the picture, Joshua is able to focus on his career aspirations.
I am a finance and economics double major, and I'd really like the opportunity to work in investment banking, or alternatively maybe part of a threat analyst group, part of the CIA maybe. I've always thought that was a super cool job. And I really just think these scholarships will prove my merit. These jobs are positions that are going to require high standards of me, and I believe that this will demonstrate my ability to stick to responsibilities over time, not just in the short term, but in the long term over time, and be a responsible individual.
More and more students like Joshua are benefiting from scholarship support. This growth in scholarship availability, paired with the surge of an experiential learning environment and community engagement effort, are attractive and motivating to Marshall's proud and generous alumni.
One of the things that has really happened so well because of this is the alumni engagement. I think the alumni have come forward through the Marshall Rise campaign and various other forms, come to the classroom, worked with us extensively. In the business school, we tried to recreate our entire curriculum. And one of the big experiences that we went through is to reimagine the whole content of what we teach in the business school. We have made it much more experiential. We made it much more entrepreneurship driven. We made it much more of an engagement-based kind of curriculum. And in order to do that, we needed our external partners right on board with us.
This level of innovation is not isolated within the College of Business. Many colleges across the Marshall campus are embracing similar opportunities.
So when I see our health science programs, I see our engineering and computer science programs, when I see our digital humanities and liberal arts programs, we see the exact same thing. We are truly out in the field and out in the marketplace and out in the community practicing what we teach.
One of the capital projects that many major donors embraced early on in the development of the Marshall Rises campaign was a new facility for the Lewis College of Business and Brad D. Smith Schools of Business. A very special son and daughter of Marshall rose to the occasion and turned a dream into reality.
I want to mention Brad Smith and Elise Smith, our alumni for the College of Business and the university, who came forward with this transformative gift as a part of this campaign. And the Brad Smith campaign has actually helped us in multiple ways. So it's obviously the amount that he has given is tremendous, but also what he does is he brings his time, talent along with the treasure. He has brought us connections from the world of business that is top tier. He has brought Silicon Valley into Marshall. We have gotten top tier CEOs to come and speak to our students. He has helped us with, again, experiential learning, externships, and internship opportunities that very few universities can afford to provide. So we are truly out there, and these connections, literally, with our alumni like Brad and others, have made us really, really special.
Dr. Mukherjee understands the transformative power and true value of Marshall Rise's impact upon the university.
The impact made per dollar given to our university is higher than competing dollars given at many other places because we are so student-centric to start with. We work with students like a family. We engage in our students and make them successful. We care for our students even after they graduate. And so if there is anything that comes in here for student success, it truly delivers results because we are a student-centric university to start with, and every dollar makes that significant difference. So the return on investment in our students and our community at Marshall through a campaign like this is larger than other ways I can think of.
The Marshall Rises pride is on display at Stephen J. Kopp Hall, home of the Marshall University School of Pharmacy, led by Dr. Gail Brazeau. She is very grateful for this state-of-the-art facility located in the Huntington Fairfield community, within walking distance of Marshall's Jones C. Edwards School of Medicine, Cabell Huntington Hospital, and Marshall's main campus.
This building, to me, is not only a classroom and a building for pharmacy, but it's a building for the university. This is a building where we can share with our community. Our studio classrooms are perfect for community events. Our studio classrooms are perfect for student organizations. Just gives us an opportunity where we can show how Marshall needs to be that important partner with our city of Huntington and Cabell County and Wayne County and West Virginia. And we're just excited. For our students, it means that they're part of it.
This facility was designed with a focus on student-centered learning. These are not your traditional classrooms.
Having this beautiful facility where we don't have lecture halls, we have studio classrooms, gives our students ability to learn, actively learn. And I like to tell our students, we don't lecture at you, we learn with you. And these type of studio classrooms, they learn in small groups, which is going to be important to know how to work in teams.
Dr. Brazeau's passion for educating tomorrow's pharmacists also involves engaging the Fairfield and Greater Huntington communities. During the COVID-19 pandemic, faculty and students here from the School of Pharmacy have conducted drive-through COVID testing and offered vaccination services in the community. Giving back is something Dr. Brazeau takes very seriously.
We believe is that if you work at an institution, you give back. You give back to make that institution a better place. And because we've been blessed to have the resources, we feel it's important that we try to role model to others. That we try to develop scholarships. We try to develop opportunities to advance student learning.
Dr. Brazeau has brought several years of higher education administration experience with her and has had the opportunity to live and work in many different parts of the country. But for her, there is truly something special about living in Huntington and working at Marshall University.
And to us, that's been a blessing. You don't get that everywhere. This is, to me, it's the right size community. It's like Goldilocks. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right. And, we feel blessed that we've been able to have great colleagues to work with, great folks to meet. And, to us, it's just a joy each day that we know that we can make a difference, not only at Marshall, but hopefully make a difference to our community. Because at the end of the day, it's one person helping another. And that's what life, it's about giving back. It's about having a positive attitude and helping make your community just a little better each day.
Speaking of our great town, let's visit with Huntington Mayor Steve Williams for his perspective on the significant impact Marshall Rises has had upon the greater Huntington area and our ability to engage on a global stage. To properly appreciate the positive effects of Marshall Rises on the city of Huntington, we need to go back in time to the early days of the America's Best Communities competition.
It actually started with a $26,000 local infusion, local investment. Because the way the competition was set up was that each community was supposed to raise at least $15,000. Most cities had the city council or the Chamber of Commerce make the contribution. We decided, let's reach out into the community and let the community participate. Now that defines Huntington. And we raised more money than anybody else. It was only $26,000, but it was more than anybody else did. But here's the key. To date, that $26,000 has leveraged $55 million of investment. So everything that we do, I look at it from the perspective, if we get something, what's it leveraging? So what is Marshall Rising? What is that leveraging? What's that $150 million going to turn into? How many billions of dollars of investment of leverage is that going to be on Huntington, on Cabell County, on the tri-state area, on the state of West Virginia, on Appalachia, and the nation, as well as the world? Now, I'm the mayor of Huntington. I'm a graduate of Marshall. So what I would simply ask, as we have been giving money, now the commitment has to be, what are you willing to continue to do? Not just give, but how are you willing to participate and contribute to the global mission of Marshall University?
Mayor Williams has witnessed firsthand the ever-expanding footprint of Marshall's campus in Huntington and the region.
My family moved to Huntington in 1972. First time I'd ever been to Huntington, first time I ever stepped foot on Marshall. But Marshall was 16th Street, Hal Greer Boulevard to 20th Street, 3rd Avenue to 5th Avenue. That was it, landlocked. I was pointing out to him that as the university has grown, then it has gone into the residential areas around. We have the engineering school, we have the medical schools. We're sitting out at Cabell Huntington Hospital at St. Mary's. We have the pharmacy school coming into Huntington on Hal Greer Boulevard. We have the Visual Arts Center downtown. I mean, the reality is the reason that Huntington is growing, the reason that Huntington is becoming known as the most dynamic downtown within a 150 mile region is because of Marshall University. Downtown with a visual arts center. That is a metaphorical power plant right in the middle of downtown, and somehow we figured out how to plug into it. And look at all the public art, the banners that are hanging in the street, the sculptures of the Artisans Express. Our art students from here and throughout the region have come in. I was asked earlier today, so where do you see us 5 to 7 years, 10 years and beyond? It's all depending upon what we're able to do through research at Marshall University. On the other side of Marshall, where the High Lawn area is, where ACF Industries and Flint and Pigments used to be, all of that is being redeveloped. Why? Because we have property right next to Marshall University. Again, thinking of a power plant, plugging into that creates economic opportunity. Now, it's not economic opportunity just for Huntington. This is not a little teacher's college in Huntington, West Virginia anymore. We have a footprint in Huntington that reaches out and touches the world.
Mayor Williams sees a very bright future for Marshall University and the city of Huntington. We are very grateful for his leadership and support. Speaking of leadership, it is time now to visit with the person who pulled our campus and alumni communities together, making Marshall Rises a successful venture. Dr. Ron Area will be the first to tell you that he didn't do it alone.
I'm just so happy that we're at the point now to be able to celebrate the first comprehensive campaign that the university has ever had. And the success of this campaign goes back to the team, our whole advancement team. Our folks with alumni relations, with communications, with marketing, the development staff, everybody is involved in this. And And we knew it was going to happen because when we announced the campaign, everybody was to be involved. And we had all the things with fireworks and everything else that made a difference. And we did it at a homecoming game. I mean, that was the beginning of it. And we announced the campaign. There were folks, they said, oh, we couldn't do it, we couldn't do it. And I said, you know, I have experience from 2 other universities, and I learned the hard way on how to involve a team in this process. And by incorporating all the successes and failures I've had in the past into this one was by far the best. You know, and what a difference it makes here with Marshall. And the people of West Virginia and our alumni are the best. They support it. We've had over 40,000 gifts to this campaign. Unbelievable. For our first comprehensive campaign, unbelievable. And 1/3 of all the major donors are brand new. I mean, yes, you know, I could go on, but the highlight of this campaign is the scholarships. We've raised over $40 million worth of new scholarship endowments, and we're right now, over the last 5 years, we've increased the number of students getting scholarships in excess of 500 new students. So, you know, this is just the beginning of where we can go. In my past experiences, I have found out that the way to a success in any type of a campaign is everybody's involvement. Not only your own team in the area of advancement, but incorporating how do you involve the president, the provost, the deans, and the faculty and the staff. I've learned from other schools at Oklahoma State and at University of Tennessee that you've got to go that route. And then you involve them, then they feel part of what's happening. We're seeing more of that. Now, was it an easy start? Hey, it wasn't. Because they have their lives and they have their successes, what they have to do in their academic area. But bringing them into what we are trying to accomplish for the entire university and the success of the entire university is making a difference. And it sets the groundwork for what we can do. There are faculty members that are jumping for joy on the programmatic support that they helped come with us and in managing major donor prospects to make it happen. We're seeing those things happening, and we are paving the way for a much brighter future for Marshall. You know, President Gilbert joined the scene with us in the early part of 2016. And one of the things that he was very eager about is the success and build on the success that we've had in fundraising. And he wanted a comprehensive campaign. We weren't quite there yet. We really needed to expand our donor base. So I had to have several meetings with Jerry. I said, Jerry, don't fire the gun yet, but we're almost there. We started counting for the campaign in July of 2016. It was about 6 months after he came. I said, let's do the advance work, Jerry. We need some major lead gifts. Are you ready to make some major calls all across the United States? And he did, and he jumped right into it. And we were very successful with one of the first major lead gifts that we got from Brad Smith. And he was very involved in that process. Comprehensive campaign, Marshall Rises. It took a while to pull all these pieces together, but the success that we've had in 4.5 years is definitely a model for other universities, especially in other universities our size or even larger. I've been getting calls from all over the United States on the success that we have had. How did we do it? Well, there are so many different systems that we put in place. And you know, the neat thing about our team is we'll try something, and if it doesn't work, we'll take 2 steps back and figure out what would be the best way to accomplish it. We've been able to do that in prospect management, in the research area, in communications, in alumni relations, in marketing. It's all those pieces fitting together. And that's what I tell these other universities on the success that we've had in the campaign. It's not just one unit. It's all the units working together to make it work. I'm just fortunate enough to be a part of this and to provide my experience and leadership from other schools to say, putting all these pieces together I try to look at it at the 30,000 foot level, and the details all seem to work out. We are so blessed to have the types of individuals and professionals in our team, and that's what makes it work. It's the professional team that makes it successful. And the successes that we've had in the campaign is a result of that. Unbelievable success. And the programmatic, we hit the home run in all the different 5 areas of the campaign, and we're going to continue to build on it. And I'm excited about, as we move forward with a new president, with the new priorities that he or she may have, we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready to strike out and start looking at, is there another campaign sometime in the near future? And I think there is. You know, the whole aspect of President Gilbert, his tenure here with us has been part of the success. It's part of his legacy that he's going to take with us. And we're hoping that as we look at the candidates and the prospect of a new president, we can build on the success that Jerry has had and his involvement with us, because the success of the campaign, he's part of the whole team. And he is by far, the president is the leader of this university and the leader of the fundraising effort that we do. So thank you, Dr. Gilbert, for everything that you've done to help us continue to be successful. Right now, we're at $164.7 million. We went way over the initial goal. And I remember sitting down with him and planning out how we were going to do it. And he says, Ron, do you think we can really do it in 7 years? I said, Jerry, I think we can easily do it in 7 years. And guess what? We did it in 4.5 years. He couldn't believe it, and there were members of his board of governors that couldn't believe it. So, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your success in fundraising for the university. Thank you, Jerry, and we wish you well.
President Gilbert's time with us here at Marshall may be nearing an end, but one thing is for certain: he will not be forgotten. Whether it is meeting with a major donor, closing an 8-figure gift, or stopping by the Memorial Student Center Plaza in between meetings to interact with students and take a selfie, Dr. Jerry Gilbert, Marshall University's 37th president, will be remembered and celebrated among the greatest leaders in Marshall history.
I've been at Marshall now 5.5 years, and I'm looking to finish out my tenure as president next year. It's been a great opportunity for me. I think we've laid a great foundation for the next president to build on, to take Marshall to even greater heights. And I'm proud that I'm going to leave behind a university that is ready for a new president to come in and take it to a new level. So I'm excited about what the future will bring, and Marshall's future is definitely bright.
The success of Marshall Rises is President Gilbert's legacy. He has made an indelible mark on Marshall's history, and Marshall University's future is indeed bright. On behalf of the entire university, thank you, President Gilbert, for giving so much to Marshall University in such a short time. We hope you will seize the opportunity to participate and be part of this tremendous success story. Visit www.marshall.edu/rises to learn more. Marshall Rises has set the stage and laid a foundation upon which Marshall can base future successful comprehensive campaigns. Here at Marshall, we are reaching new heights. We are proud, and we are rising, and we are Marshall.